It's that time of year. Shorter days, cooler nights. Valley Home Services believes the comfort and warmth of home means more on nights like these. Comfort and warmth that comes from Fujitsu heat pumps. Valley Home Services has the most reliable choices for heating and cooling your home or business. Ditch the worry of heating bills and power outages all season long with Valley Home Services. Family matters.
Now, your primetime local news leader. Fox 22 News at 10.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois. Today marked day 3 of the trial for a mother accused of killing her 3-year-old son. R.A.J. Douglas was in court today, and for the first time, the jury heard voice recordings of the mother explaining how she thinks her son may have been fatally injured.
Friday, the state called members from the Maine State Police Crime Lab to the stand. Their testimony confirmed bloodstains found on 3-year-old Maddox's clothing. Blood was found on the front and back of Maddox's T-shirt, dinosaur comforter, and rectum area of his shorts. A Maine State sex crimes kit reportedly came back negative for semen. Maine State Police Detective Corporal Ryan Brockway says police had to track Trefethen down in search of answers surrounding the child's death. Members of the jury listened to a more than 2-hour recording of the mother's initial interview with police. Trefethen claims the injuries Maddox suffered are a result of rough child's play among siblings and an attack from the family dog. At one point in the recorded interview, Trefethen states, "When Maddox came to me like that," suggesting the child already had bruising prior to coming to live with her full time. Defense attorney Caitlin Smith says she is still hopeful that the jury will find Trefethen innocent.
I don't think that there's been anything that shows that Jessica did any of this. Jessica's innocent, and as the evidence comes in, that will consistently show that.
Smith claims that the state did not attempt to identify any other possible causes for Maddox's injuries.
The state decided that it was Jessica pretty much the moment that Maddox entered that hospital and didn't do an investigation into anyone else or anything else.
Next week, the jury is expected to hear from the medical examiner who will detail the injuries that caused Maddox's untimely death. In Belfast, A.J. Douglas, ABC 7, Fox 22.
Meanwhile, 2 people are facing charges after an early morning search of a home in Bucksport. Police say during the search of the home on Route 15, they found more than 100 grams of crystal meth, almost 90 grams of suspected heroin, 2 handguns, and more than $2,300. 46-year-old Heather Atwood of Bucksport is being charged with 6 counts of aggravated trafficking in scheduled drugs, operating after suspension, violations of conditions of release, and 2 counts of criminal forfeiture. 44-year-old Joshua DeBoer of Bucksport is also charged with possession of firearms by a prohibited person. The Hancock County Grand Jury has indicted a Searsport woman in connection with a crash in Orland. 32-year-old Brittany Gaynor was indicted on charges of driving to endanger, leaving the scene of an accident involving bodily injury, failure to report an injury, and falsifying physical evidence. 46-year-old Travis Allen was walking in the breakdown lane on Acadia Highway in Orland in July when he was hit by a car allegedly driven by Gaynor. Allen was taken to Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Police say Gaynor initially fled the scene, but the car was found a short distance away. She was later located and arrested. Also, 3 people were indicted in connection with a drug investigation in Hancock County. When police searched a camp along the Gus Moore Road in Penobscot, they found 1.5 pounds of fentanyl, more than $30,000 in suspected drug proceeds, and other evidence of drug trafficking. 34-year-old Christopher Warford of Bucksport, 37-year-old Jamie Ward of Bucksport, and 35-year-old Jessica Adams of Verona Island were all indicted on charges of aggravated drug trafficking, unlawful drug trafficking, and as well as criminal forfeiture. The deaths of an elderly couple in Orrington have been ruled a murder-suicide. On Wednesday, authorities responded to the Orrington residents of Russell and Lewis Swanson, both 89 years old, after their bodies were discovered. The Maine State Police Major Crimes Unit and Evidence Response Team were called to investigate the circumstances of their deaths. According to a release from the Maine State Police, the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner in Augusta has confirmed the deaths were a result of a murder-suicide. Some new information tonight regarding the body found in Lemoyne earlier this week. Lemoyne town officials confirmed Neil Salisbury died inside the home on Shore Road and that the home is owned by his son. Salisbury was an unofficial candidate for Hancock County Sheriff. The body was discovered by a friend who stopped by the house and then contacted the sheriff's office. A Maine State Police spokesperson tells us the cause of death is still under investigation. The Maine Department of Health and Human Services has been ordered to deliver child protective case files to an oversight committee. The Office of Program Evaluation and Government Accountability, or OPEGA, received a subpoena for the case files of 4 children who died last year. A release states DHHS began working with OPEGA and the Office of the Attorney General to fulfill the committee's directive while ensuring the confidentiality of the records as required by state and federal laws. It says the department will complete delivery of those files by today. A fire broke out at a home at 456 Bennock Road in Old Town this afternoon. According to Old Town Fire Chief Adam Martell, the fire was reported at around 11:15 a.m. He says firefighters were able to quickly extinguish it. Captain Martell says the fire was contained to just one room and surrounding rooms only received smoke damage. The incident was accidental, but he did not disclose the cause of the fire. With next week being Fire Safety Week, the chief says this incident is a great example of why it's important to close the doors in your home. Drought conditions across the state have improved. Maine's Drought Task Force met yesterday to discuss conditions across the state. Data from the U.S. Drought Monitor shows nearly 8% of the state is abnormally dry. About 3% of the state is experiencing moderate drought across 6 out of Maine's 16 counties. They say September storms recharged some of the groundwater wells hit the hardest by drought and low snowpack over the last couple of years. So certainly good to see that trending in the right direction. Will we get any more rain, though? We'll turn things over to Jeff Weller and take a first look at our forecast.
All right, thank you. It's Friday night. Your first weather is brought to you by Goose River Farm Meat Store, Belmont Avenue in Belfast. And all right, let's talk about temperatures today. Highs back up near 70. However, those are now in the past memory, right? As we have cooler, drier air flooding in right now. We're going to hold high temperatures tomorrow, hanging out in the mid-50s for highs tomorrow. Okay, so lots of cloud cover out there today and a couple of rain showers, as you know. Those are going to wind down now tonight, and we're pretty much done with them now, as we do have clouds increasing or staying with us through tomorrow morning, but the rain showers are coming to an end tonight, and then tomorrow morning, decreasing clouds, followed by a very nice day across our area tomorrow. So our forecast end tonight, though, is partly cloudy skies or decreasing clouds with low temperatures down near 40. Your full forecast is coming up. Peter?
All right, so a great weekend on the way. Thanks to you, Jeff. We'll check in with you in a little bit. And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, the Brewer Police Department introduces a new unit to help keep the Riverwalk there safe. And a new grant will help a local organization work towards its mission to end homelessness and domestic abuse. We'll have worries and more after this.
Wherever you are, whether you're ready or not, it's coming. With a purpose, with persistence, with the power to change the way you live. So you don't have to change the way you live. Generac automatic standby generators. Control your power, control your life. Visit Generac.com. Behind every keepsake, there's a memory. Behind every photo, there's a story. Behind Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration, there's people giving back by bringing back what was thought to be lost. The details, the time, and the expertise, all packaged up behind a name that Mainers have trusted for over 35 years. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories. We'll handle the rest.
The auto business has had its share of challenges over the last couple of years. If you'd like to get behind the wheel of a new Toyota faster, here's a key tip.
With the current shortage, will I be able to get the exact vehicle that I want?
We'll check our latest allocation and we'll let you know what models are arriving soon. You may need to be a bit more flexible on the color and options, but we'll do our best to find the vehicle you want. Pre-ordering will ensure faster delivery. As always, we sincerely appreciate your business. All roads lead to Down East on Wilson Street in Brewer.
It's another exciting year of high school football in the state of Maine. Get out and support your home team and be looking for the ABC7 Sports Blitz crew. You can get a free Sports Blitz t-shirt, then watch Sports Blitz during ABC7 News at 11 every Friday night during the football season. Blitz shirts courtesy of At Home FAB KBF, Dover Ford, Engstrom's Auto Service, Foxcroft Academy, Johnson Foundations, McCusick Petroleum, Patriot Homes, and Tony Murray's Fairway Auto Sales.
Blake Corum and Michigan take their electrifying show on the road against Indiana. All part of Big Noon Saturday on Fox.
Sundays, it's the best 2 hours of NFL coverage.
Loaded with talent.
Starting with Fox NFL Kickoff at 11.
Heads up. It is caught!
Then at noon, take it to the next level on Fox NFL Sunday.
Now here we go again.
America's #1 pregame show. The best NFL pregame shows are back-to-back, only on Fox.
Welcome back. A local hospital just received a new addition to help better serve its community. The Northern Light Mayo Hospital added a new ambulance to its fleet with the help of a grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. According to Regional EMS Operations Manager Chuck McMahon, the truck will make a fine addition to their fleet that is responsible for serving Maine's second largest county.
We have had a really critical need for new trucks, both because of the volume that we're doing with transports has been increasing, but also our aging fleet and just inability to fund new trucks.
According to McMahon, the truck has been fitted with all the gear necessary to ensure the safety and comfort of all patients transported in it. Along with funding for the new ambulance, the hospital also received funding for a new power stretcher, which they say will be one of the most useful tools the team has at their disposal and will make loading and unloading patients much easier.
I mean, it's imperative that they have the equipment that they need. You know, they go into difficult situations, they go to trauma situations, and they need to have everything that they possibly can for technology and the best equipment we can give them so that they can do their jobs well and help people.
The president of Northern Light Mayo Hospital says it would not have been possible to secure funding for the ambulance without the help of the USDA, and she's grateful to have received it. Maine's governor and congressional delegation are calling on the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration to provide more opportunity for lobstermen to be heard as they face even stricter regulations. The group sent a letter today to NOAA urging them to hold at least one additional in-person scoping hearing in Down East Maine as the federal agency prepares to implement Phase 2 of its Atlantic large whale take reduction plan, which aims to reduce risk to whales by 90%. Fishermen and women turned out in large numbers for Wednesday's in-person hearing in Portland, expressing their opposition to the new measures, which they say will kill Maine's lobster industry. In a joint statement, the lawmakers echoed that sentiment, saying, quote, "It would close off thousands of miles of prime fishing areas and require lobstermen and women to make significant changes to how they harvest the resource, including the use of ropeless fishing gear when it is not technologically or economically viable. Given these possible outcomes, it is unacceptable that your agency is only holding one in-person meeting hours away from some of our state's largest lobster ports, forcing lobstermen to spend time off the water, which is their primary, if not only, source of income. The decision to knowingly limit opportunities to directly engage with lobstermen and our coastal communities speaks volumes about your concern for their future," end quote. The delegation recently introduced a bill that would also prohibit federal taxpayer funds from going to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, which put Maine lobster on its seafood red list. Meanwhile, Brewer Police Department recently introduced a new unit to help keep the Riverwalk crime-free and improve relations with citizens. Matthew Juronsik has more.
Take a stroll on Brewer's Riverwalk and you may stumble across Brewer police officers riding up and down the path. Adding bikes to their daily patrol, for Officer Brandon Curtis and Sergeant Zachary Karen, the idea is to be visible and keep the area safe.
We have a beautiful waterfront here in Brewer, something we're really proud of, and we're always looking at better ways to patrol it and keep it safe for the citizens and keep the shenanigans down here at a very minimum.
There are 4 officers that are part of the mountain bike force with hopes of expanding the unit in the future.
If we had a certain problem area where we could implement the bicycles, we would absolutely use these it's a very useful tool. So we would absolutely implement these whenever needed.
And as you can see, the Riverwalk is starting to become a little busy. And even though this is a brand new program, residents say they feel safe.
Here we feel very, very safe. It's just I could walk here by myself. I do not worry about it. But in times past, it wasn't always that way. So this is great. We applaud it.
And while this spot is a heavily traveled area, VZ resident Ann Smith says she appreciates the effort the police department is putting into keeping the area safe.
It's always important that patrons feel safe in walking, and there's a lot of elderly, there's a lot of young people that walk here, a lot of programs for the disabled come in and use this space, and I think it's crucial that they feel comfortable, safe. Well, thank you, first of all. I mean, I appreciate that they have the manpower to do it. Even just a sporadic monitoring and patrolling makes a huge difference in any kind of public walkway.
Matthew Jurancic, ABC7 and Fox 22.
A new grant will help a local organization work towards its mission to end homelessness and domestic abuse. New Hope Midcoast has been awarded a $25,000 grant from State Farm. Over 4,000 applications were considered, of which State Farm selected 200 to be voted on by the public, who would choose who would be awarded the grant. After 10 days, 88,000 people voted in favor of New Hope Midcoast, making them the only winner in Maine. The grant will help fund programs like the 24/7 helpline, legal advocacy, and support groups. Well, coming up next on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, President Biden says the risk of nuclear Armageddon is at its highest level in 60 years. And people in Florida and the Gulf area are still assessing the damage and picking up the pieces as rescue efforts and the recovery ramps up. We'll have those stories and much more as the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 continues.
Seniors know a scam when they see one, like Bruce Poliquin.
My heart is breaking for our seniors in Maine.
He says he'll help Maine seniors. But the last time Poliquin was in Congress, he voted to cut $500 billion from Medicare. And he supports raising the retirement age for Social Security. Maine seniors can trust Jared Golden. Jared stood up to both parties to protect Social Security and Medicare.
I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message because Maine seniors earned their retirement.
The better way to a better window. Renewal by Anderson.
Hi everyone, it's Troy Pearl. Prices are going up on everything, but we can help bring your energy costs down. All this month, when you buy 4 of our energy-saving windows, we'll give you a 5th for free, plus an additional $150 off your entire project. For a free in-home consultation, visit rbagreatermaine.com.
The better way to a better window. Renewal by Anderson.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime, and get moving. Go cardio crazy in our clean and spacious clubs. Jam out on the strength machines and get down with some dumbbells. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Friday, October 14th.
Say goodbye to lag times and death spirals with our crazy fast fiber internet. At GoNet Speed, we've dropped our prices on fiber. That means hello to fast fiber internet starting at just $49.95 per month. Or go up to 1 gig, that's 1,000 megabits per second, for only $69.95 a month. The lowest prices we've ever offered. No contract, no hidden fees, no joke. Visit GoNetspeed.com to check availability in your area.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
President Biden says the risk of nuclear Armageddon is at its highest level in decades. The warning coming as Russian forces suffer more losses on the battlefield. Fox's Amy Kellogg has more.
Ukraine's counteroffensive against Russia continues to gain steam. In the south, forces recaptured a large section of territory around the Kherson region this week. As Russia's setbacks mount, President Biden is issuing a stark warning that Moscow may resort to using nuclear weapons if faced with a potential defeat. During an event on Thursday, the president said, quote, "We have not faced the prospect of Armageddon since Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis." The White House maintains it has no indications that Russia is preparing an imminent nuclear attack.
Russia's talk of using nuclear weapons is irresponsible, and there's no way to use them without unintended consequences. It cannot happen.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has vowed to use any available means to protect what he views as Russian territory. But his management of the Ukrainian invasion is reportedly facing criticism from his inner circle. According to the Washington Post, a Putin ally recently confronted him over failings on the battlefield. The disagreement was reportedly significant enough to be included in President Biden's daily intelligence briefing.
Given the underperformance of the military and the surprising success of the counteroffensive against that military, there's got to be some serious concerns about Putin's leadership and management of the war.
A Kremlin spokesman denied the report but said that debate was, quote, part of the normal working process in Russia. In Milan, Amy Kellogg, Fox News.
Meanwhile, President Biden issued a mass pardon to Americans who'd been convicted of federal marijuana possession charges. That follows through on a campaign promise, and the announcement may have been carefully timed for next month's midterm elections. As Fox's Doug Luzader reports, it may just be the first move toward federal decriminalization.
Very few people are prosecuted solely on federal marijuana possession charges, but the president made it clear that he sees this as just the start.
For those who partake and who have been charged for doing so, this announcement from the White House could be welcome news.
This just opens doors that were previously shut to us, and I'm excited for the opportunity.
My pardon will remove this burden on them.
President Biden made the pardon declaration on a video posted to Twitter, and even the White House acknowledges that this doesn't affect many people. The vast majority of those convicted of simple marijuana possession are charged at the state, not federal level. And no one, they admit, is currently in federal prison solely on that charge. The move is not without critics who point to the changing face of drug abuse.
People think it's innocent. It's not. It's 20 times more powerful than it was in the 60s.
Still, the president hopes that states will follow suit, and he'd like the federal government to reclassify marijuana.
So I'm asking the Secretary of Health and Human Services and the Attorney General to initiate a process to review how marijuana is scheduled under federal law.
And even this limited move by the president could have wider political consequences.
It does not affect a big population, but it may force a conversation in states in gubernatorial races. It may force a conversation in Senate races, so it could have a bigger impact.
Now, the president has really come full circle on this, once endorsing the 1994 crime bill that significantly stepped up federal enforcement of drug laws. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
Meanwhile, vaping among children is still proving to be a big issue, with the new government study highlighting the increase in teens using e-cigarettes this year. Fox's Ashley Strohmeyer has more.
A new study from the CDC finds a growing number of teenagers are vaping, even after federal and state officials jacked up the purchasing age for e-cigarettes and other tobacco products, as well as banned most e-cigarette flavors.
Sometimes it's like in class, which is shocking because the teacher doesn't notice. But most of the time it's like in the bathroom.
Researchers surveyed roughly 28,000 middle and high school students across the country and found 14% of high schoolers said they recently vaped, up from the 11% who claimed to use e-cigarettes last year. Of that group, 28% said they vaped every day. Meanwhile, only 3% of middle schoolers said they recently used an electronic smoking device.
We're still seeing youth who are being caught, using these products on school grounds.
Most of this year's study participants took the survey while in school, compared to most who did it while at home last year because of remote learning. Health officials say kids are more likely to report vaping in school than at home.
I've seen kids, cutting class to go vape, it's just really sad.
And faculty believe more kids may be gravitating towards e-cigarettes as a way to cope with the surge in mental health problems facing children after the pandemic.
I know it's an escape, but it's an escape that is hurting them.
While vaping advocates say the devices are helpful for long-term smokers to quit using actual cigarettes, health officials say e-cigs still cause lung damage and when used by teenagers can actually inspire them to take up smoking. Ashley Strohmeyer, Fox News.
Stocks fell Friday as traders reacted to September's job report. Meanwhile, President Biden said the administration is making historic progress in job growth. Fox's Caroline Shiley reports from Washington.
It's a big battery.
Yeah. President Biden touting Friday's economic report as he toured a Volvo plant in Maryland. Employers added a solid 263,000 jobs in September. It's a slight slowdown from a month earlier, but the president maintains that's exactly what the economy needed.
The pace of job growth is cooling while still powering our recovery forward.
But traders are worried that the jobs market is still so hot that the Federal Reserve will make another hefty interest rate hike next month to try to tame inflation.
And the reason the markets are reacting to it is the Federal Reserve, which thinks you conquer inflation by trashing the economy, making people poorer. That guarantees that when the Fed meets next month, they're going to do those 0.75 of a point, 75 basis points, and hurt the economy even more.
Friday's report also showed wages rose 5% over 12 months, ending in September, a slight decrease from 5.2% year-over-year growth in August.
They're seeing wages up. I mean, I think there's no question about it. I think we're seeing it across the board.
Workers welcome the higher wages, but businesses with higher payroll costs may pass the income loss on to customers, fueling inflation, which is already hovering near a 40-year high.
It's proliferated. It's not good for our economy, and we're seeing a lot of the pain from it.
The next economic indicator to look out for, the Consumer Price Index, out Thursday. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
A grand jury in New York indicted a career criminal who was on the run after allegedly murdering a Long Island husband and father in a hotel lobby. The case has once again brought attention to the country's growing crime crisis and the reality of so many repeat offenders on the streets. Fox's Alexis McAdams has more from New York.
Tonight, the family of Paul Coots is grieving after the 53-year-old father of three was murdered while visiting his son at Marist College in Poughkeepsie, New York. Police say Roy Johnson Jr. pulled the trigger. The felon with a long rap sheet now indicted by a grand jury. Officials say he should have been behind bars, but was walking free thanks to New York's bail reform law.
Why would you have somebody who has the prior criminal record, who's under investigation, be inside of that hotel?
Johnson Jr. was wanted in at least 2 states for a variety of serious crimes. His criminal record goes back to 2005 when he did time for a violent robbery. In 2021, he was arrested again for threatening to stab his cousin, just one of a handful of cases he was facing. But officials say he just never showed up to court. Then this past summer, he had an active warrant in Georgia after police say he was dealing drugs while armed with a gun. 1 month later, investigators say he was at the scene of another murder in Poughkeepsie. Fast forward to Sunday, when police say he killed an innocent dad. Witnesses say Johnson Jr. walked into the lobby of this Courtyard Marriott, pulled out a gun, and sprayed the room with bullets. Yesterday, at an unrelated event, President Biden and Governor Hochul were in Poughkeepsie, but made no mention of the dad who was killed. This as murders across the state are on the rise. From 2018 to 2021, murders in New York have increased by 55%. Many law enforcement agencies point to New York's bail reform that was enacted at the start of 2020 for the massive spike in crime.
We're suffering from those failed policies. At the state level, we have the failed no bail law.
Johnson Jr. is expected back in court next week for his arraignment. That's when we'll find out what charges he's facing. Reporting in New York, I'm Alexis McAdams, Fox News.
Still to come on Fox 22 News at 10. As peak foliage season arrives, the Maine Maple Fall Fest takes place in Clifton. And in sports, Tyler Cruz will have all the football action that's happening around our area. We'll be right back after the break.
Everything I did for my family.
The Cleaning Lady, Mondays on Fox.
You can always tell where Bruce Poliquin's been, hanging around Washington politicians and the special interests that fund their campaigns, like big oil and drug and insurance companies. Poliquin leaves a bit of Washington everywhere because he's covered in it, supporting special tax breaks for big corporations and more government spending. No matter where you see Bruce Poliquin, you know he's always heading back to the swamp. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Whether you're hurt by a box truck or by any commercial vehicle, you may have a big case worth big money. If you've been hurt by any commercial truck, call the twos. We win for you.
Hurt by a commercial truck? Come out on top. Call the twos.
For the best selection in classic and contemporary furnishings, stop by Richard Parks Furniture on High Street in Ellsworth. Handcrafted New England-made bedrooms and dining rooms, imported Scandinavian recliners and upholstery, more than 40 lines of furniture for the home and patio. Richard Parks Furniture is your #1 stop for quality, functionality, and well-designed furniture at affordable prices. Richard Parks Furniture.
Discover Richard Parks.
132 High Street in Ellsworth.
Discover Richard.
When Ryan White of Hartley's in Newport wants to know his weather, he logs on to foxbangor.com. Ryan has been with Hartley's for 3 years, and he looks to make your buying experience fast, fun, and easy, and with multiple repeat customers, it's fair to say you won't be disappointed.
It's another exciting year of high school football in the state of Maine. Get out and support your home team, and be looking for the ABC7 Sports Blitz crew. You can get a free Sports Blitz t-shirt, then watch Sports Blitz during ABC7 News at 11 every Friday night during the football season. Blitz shirts courtesy of Coastal Auto Parts, Alpenglow Adventure Sports, Black Bear Lawn Care, Graphic Signs and Designs, Maine Collision Center, Old Town Redemption Center, Rose Bike, and Spalding's Bangor Radiator Rust Check.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Fox Tuesdays.
Fixing things is supposed to be my job.
Please don't let there be anything wrong.
A brush with death works wonders.
I'm scared.
Want to see some action?
A new heart-pounding season is here.
Please save my babies.
And you can watch it anytime.
Things are different now.
My hero.
We need to get in there right away.
We're gonna get the job done.
The Resident, Tuesdays on Fox, and watch anytime on demand or Fox Now.
Welcome back. People in Florida and the Gulf area are still assessing the damage and picking up the pieces following a direct hit from Hurricane Ian. Fox Weather's Nicole Valdez has more from Fort Myers.
30 years of my life gone.
Anxious residents are still assessing damage 9 days after Hurricane Ian slammed into Florida as a Category 4 storm. The death toll now over 100. It's now the second deadliest storm of the century, behind only Katrina. And even as the rescue missions continue in some areas, folks are hoping officials ramp up recovery as soon as possible.
I've seen devastation, but I've never seen it this widespread. This is enormous. I mean, everywhere you drive over here, it's tore up.
But it won't be easy. In the hardest hit areas, thousands of homes were either flooded or ripped apart by the winds. There's debris and garbage everywhere, and some low-lying areas are still dealing with major flooding issues, forcing residents to get creative.
Your whole life is disrupted. You know, it's to get groceries, you can't just jump in your car and drive down. You've got a canoe over to your car.
Statewide, there is progress being reported. There are about 180,000 customers still without power, down from about a high of 2.6 million. And FEMA says they have more than 2,000 personnel in the field helping those people start the rebuilding process. The agency now trying to get the word out about help for everything from renting a new home to replacing flooded out cars.
There are so many programs within FEMA. That's why it's always good to go to a disaster recovery center where you could talk to somebody one-on-one.
And as you can see behind me, donations continue to come in from across the state of Florida and across the country as these victims work to move forward. In Fort Myers, I'm Nicole Valdez, Fox Weather.
Well, it could have been the gaming matchup for the ages, but Google threw in the towel early. Fox's Eamon Dignam has more in this edition of Fox on Games. Looks like we may have some trouble right now getting you that story, so we'll check in again in just a moment on that. In the meantime, a Lewiston doctor could be featured on the U.S. dollar coin. Dr. Bernard Laun, renowned cardiologist, came to Maine from Lithuania at age 14. He's set to be featured on the dollar coin in 2024. The Citizens Coinage Advisory Committee endorsed the proposed design for Maine's contribution to the American Innovations Coin Program through the U.S. Mint. According to the Loan Institute, Lone is most famously known for inventing the defibrillator, which allows resuscitation to the heart after suffering arrest. He also was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1985 after saving the life of a Russian journalist that collapsed from cardiac arrest at a press conference. The U.S. Mint says it can take up to 18 months before a final decision can be made for the design to be used. It may seem hard to believe, but the holiday season will soon be upon us. The 18th annual Washington County Turkey-A-Thon was held today to help lessen the burden for families who are struggling.
The rise in cost of food and gas and oil, to be able to give someone a turkey for their Thanksgiving, and it's not one more thing they need to purchase, it's a huge gift, and they are so excited for it.
$3 raise goes toward buying gift cards for turkeys that will then be given to food pantries all across Washington County. They'll give the turkeys to those who need them most. Last year, the partners organizing the Turkey-A-Thon were able to collect nearly $40,000 in donations. The town of Dover-Foxcroft is getting a new treat just in time for Halloween. The Little Shop of Candy just opened on 123 East Main Street. A small store is packed to the brim with a variety of candy from toxic slime to nostalgic penny candy. The owner and only current employee, Shelley Rumsey, says she thinks the shop will make a nice addition to town, and she plans on expanding sometime in the future.
I hope to grow. I'm not sure what direction I want to take it, whether it be online sales or possibly making some of our own candy. I'm hoping that it's busy enough that I'll need to hire on some people.
The candy shop will be open 6 days a week and closed on Mondays. The Maine Maple Fall Fest is taking place this weekend in Clifton. The Williams family farm will be demonstrating the ins and outs of maple syrup production. Guests can learn how sap is turned into maple syrup and enjoy some free samples along the way. Williams Family Farm co-owner Eileen Williams says the event helps bring families together for a very special time.
Taking your family, doing family things with your family. That's what we enjoy about it. That's why we enjoy doing this business. All of our kids help us and their wives. It's a family thing.
The retail shop will also be stocked with souvenir items along with goodies and sweets. The Maple Fest is open from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Saturday and then again 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday. So it sounds like a really great time to get down there, have some fun with the whole family, and learn a few things along the way. All right, well, Jeff Weller is coming up next with our full 5-day forecast. Stay with us.
High temperatures back up near 70 today. It will not be this warm tomorrow. We'll have highs basically in the 50s tomorrow and through the weekend with some sunshine. But when will it rain again? Those details for you when I come back.
Interest rates are on the rise and making waves in the real estate market. Buying or selling? You need a navigator. I'm Holly Taylor. Come to the one who gets it done. HollyTaylor.Realtor.
Mainers took Jared Golden at his word, but he just broke his promise. Golden was a deciding vote for Biden's newest spending bill, even though he knew reckless spending would make inflation worse and everything more expensive. What's worse? Golden and Biden hiked taxes $1 billion on those making less than $50,000. Jared Golden, independent when convenient, liberal when it mattered. Congressional Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
From the land to the sea, Chase's Family Restaurant is the place to be.
Are you looking for a place to unwind after a long day?
Then come check out our Hideaway Lounge.
With a bar that's both upbeat and laid back. And it's the perfect atmosphere for anyone who wants to unwind after work.
Or kick it up for the weekends with daily drink specials and a full dinner menu.
You can fill up on a good time any night of the week.
Thank you for being a part of our family.
Here at Chase's Family Restaurant.
It's another exciting year of high school football in the state of Maine. Get out and support your home team and be looking for the ABC7 Sports Blitz crew. You can get a free Sports Blitz t-shirt, then watch Sports Blitz during ABC7 News at 11 every Friday night during the football season. Blitz shirts courtesy of Blue Alpaca Ranch and Store, Bucksport Golf Club, Bucksport Hannaford, Bucksport Regional Health Center, Coastal Auto Parts, Osborne's Plumbing and Heating Incorporated, the Coach House Restaurant, and Twin City Tile.
Homes are selling in a single day. The real work happens well before. I'm Holly Taylor, and I have the expertise to guide you through your home improvements. Come to the one who gets it done. HollyTaylor.Realtor. Realtor.
Baseball's biggest stars lead their teams in a fight for the crown. The MLB postseason on Fox.
Here we go. Your full weather is brought to you by Varney Ford, the nice car and truck people. And all right, so we're nearing peak, of course, this time of year. The trees are gorgeous outside right now. We've been keeping them kind of bright, too, as there's not been much wind across our region. That will change, though, likely later on tomorrow night into Sunday as well, as we have some more wind on the way. Right now, though, the wind is out of the south, around 10 miles per hour. We can handle that. That gave temperatures a boost today. In fact, high temperatures reached back up into the 70s. That's not normal. And you're probably thinking, well, when are we going to pay for this? Well, that arrives for us tomorrow with cooler temperatures. Highs tomorrow only in the low to mid 50s. Are you ready for that? Okay, the cold fronts come through. Low temperatures tonight down near 40. We can handle that, right? But tomorrow, this is not much of a recovery. We'll have high temperatures in the low to mid 50s tomorrow, with a northwest breeze. There'll be some sunshine around. That'll feel good, right? But overall, a much colder day for us for tomorrow. Lots of cloud cover out there today and a couple of light rain showers. Nothing heavy, nothing severe. These are beginning to wind down outside right now. In fact, we'll have decreasing clouds out there tonight. And by tomorrow morning, sunrise or so, it's going to be a gorgeous one with temperatures hanging out tomorrow in the 50s and 60s. Okay, so this is a pretty compact system across our region now. But there's still a little bit more rain showers to get through. Not a big deal at all. It'll definitely be out of here by early parts of tomorrow morning. And then it gets good. Then it gets real good. As off to the west of this, there's just nothing going on over here. That's our weather for the weekend and beyond. A long, dry stretch is unfolding now. In fact, here's a drought monitor. Of course, decades of drought across the west, been a problem for them. For us, though, all summer long, we're watching an area of dry conditions across our state. And it's still there. It's just not as bad as it was. We could use some more rainfall, and there's not much rainfall in our forecast anytime soon after the rain we had today. All right, Futurecast shows the story, right? So lots of clouds out there still, a couple of light rain showers to about 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Here's 3:30 or so, looking at a couple of sprinkles around, but then decreasing clouds tomorrow morning. It's going to be a very nice day tomorrow once again. Cooler, though, highs back in the 50s, ready for that. And then tomorrow night, clear as a bell. And then Sunday, same story, great weather for Sunday into Monday and Tuesday, as we are unfolding now a long, dry stretch across our region into the middle portions of next week. Our forecast, though, tonight, though, is rain ending, gradual clearing, low temperatures down near 40, a very comfortable night with that southwest breeze around 5 to 10. For tomorrow, all right, here we go. Partly cloudy skies, high temperatures up near 55. That's a change. You're going to feel that change with that northwest breeze around 5 to 10. And then looking ahead, your 5-day forecast shows the story. So 57 for Sunday, okay. Monday, 54, we'll take it. 59 on Tuesday, mostly sunny, and then back up in the low to mid 60s on Wednesday afternoon. Peter?
So lots of sun. We love to see that. Thanks so much, Jeff. And sports is coming up next, so stay with us.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Janet Mills's education department was teaching kindergartners radical transgender policies. Now it's pushing a curriculum telling students they're racist if they use certain terms. All lives matter. Mass incarceration. Calling the police on black people. All racist. Janet Mills closed our schools and our kids fell behind. And now she's pushing her radical education agenda. No more politics in schools. No more Janet Mills. The top funder of the Maine Republican Party is the Republican Governors Association.
With the Toyota Fall Sales Event, your all-wheel drive headquarters is now your all-wheel drive savings headquarters, making it the perfect time to get ready for winter driving. Right now, you could save thousands of dollars with low 2.49% financing on an all-wheel drive Highlander. And every Highlander comes with 2 years no-cost maintenance and more. With our Toyota Fall Sales Event, your all-wheel drive headquarters is now your all-wheel drive savings headquarters. Offers end October 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
The night Mama passed, she said something to me. I've done things that can never be forgiven. How am I supposed to bury her secrets if I don't know them all?
You don't get very far in this business without being just a tiny bit dirty.
Your mother is being blackmailed.
She was hiding the truth.
Just want to know what happened.
Help me look into this.
Oh my God. If this gets out, it'll kill the family.
In all new Monarch,
Tuesday at 9 on Fox.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Put a little more cash in your bag. Save money with half-off deals at foxbangor.com.
Back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Friday was a busy night around the state for some high school football. Probably our last night out there without a hat and gloves and hand warmers, but I am no weatherman. I'm just the sports guy who's about to run through 4 games in about 2 minutes. Let's go. We are going to start with Falmouth and Brewer up for Brewer homecoming. Second quarter here. Navigators down to score. This one is going to be Indy Backman taking it through his tackles for a 73-yard run. Huffing and puffing down the sideline. Get this man an oxygen tank after that one. Falmouth goes on to win 30-7, the final score. Let's move on now. Old Town taking on Madison, Powerbeck Valley, that co-op. Old Town looking for their first win. Jordan Kraft from the goal line. He's going to give it to Jordan Cody, who waltzes in for the score. Old Town up big already. Madison would come back a little bit, but Kraft is going to find Devon Alston. Takes a hit like a champ in the end zone. Comes up with the ball. Old Town gets win number 1. 42-30 is the final score in that one. Great win for those Coyotes. Been grinding out all season. Let's move over to Bucksport now. They're hosting Mount View. First year as an 8-man team for the Golden Bucks. Here's Cameron Weber. He's going to take the handoff, patiently follow his blockers down the field. As patient as he can be for a 44-yard score. Bucksport wins big in this one. Look at the celebration. They're all happy. 70-26 win for the Bucks. Staying with 8-man now, and we're just going to move up to Orono. Red Riots hosting the St. John Valley Mustangs. St. John, first year as a program, taking on the Red Riots. The opening kickoff here, and it's Pierce Walston, the basketball player. We know him from the court. On the opening kickoff, weaving his way through and in for 6. And then later on, it would be Jack Brewer from the gun on the goal line, firing it in for the score. Orono wins this one 63-6. Big win for the Riots there. All right, let's go down to Boston now, and we are going to pick things up with the Red Sox. They officially wrapped up their season this week, and as tradition, the front office gathered for an end-of-year presser on Thursday. The Sox officially finished last in the AL East, 21 games out of first and under 500, 78-84, the final record. So by Boston standards, right, that's not very good at all. President and CEO of the team, Sam Kennedy, he faced reporters after the season, and he accepted responsibility for the season while stating the obvious. They expect better.
Each and every year, our goal is to play baseball in October, and that's on us. That's on the group that you're looking at right here. We're responsible for putting a team on the field that's built to compete into October and win a World Series championship. We obviously fell way short of that.
Now that the season is all wrapped, there are a few major storylines to pay attention to this offseason. What's going on with Chris Sale? How are the Sox going to rebound? And what's going to happen with their key players, Rafael Devers, J.D. Martinez, and Xander Bogaerts right here. He had a grand slam the other night, especially Bogaerts. He is set to enter free agency this offseason, and Chaim Bloom says those conversations of keeping Xander in Boston going to start right away.
What I can say is this, that process is going to start right away from our end. And obviously, we know we haven't found that path yet. We still want to. We're going to work really hard at it.
All right, so some big questions ahead for the Sox heading into the winter months. Hopefully we get some answers in due time, of course. Let's move on now. Back up to Orono. Maine Field Hockey looking for their 7th straight victory on Friday afternoon. Mia Borley and the Black Bears, they're hosting the University of California Bears. It's an America East matchup, a rematch of the semifinals last fall, and Maine wasted no time getting into it. Chloe Walton, she gets a shot off. It's blocked, but Teresa Holubkova is there. She sends it back to Walton. 1-0 Maine. Tied up now, it's Kiki De Bruges. She would fire this one past the diving Borley, and Cal would take a 2-1 lead. We're still in the first. Maine with a penalty shot. Poppy Lambert taking it, and Poppy Lambert making it. This one was a nail-biter. Lambert would have 2 goals. Walton would have 2 goals, including the game winner. 4-3 is the final. All right, that's all the time we have for sports. We will be right back after the break.
I have a great job. I get up early, head on out, and I get to work. I install solar panels. They power our homes and give me a great paycheck. When Paul LePage was governor, he opposed projects like this, putting Maine last for solar jobs in New England. He even said that climate change wasn't a threat to Maine. Look, we need more of these jobs, and that won't happen if we go back to Paul LePage.
The top funder of Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
Does your dream kitchen look like this? Or this? Or maybe you need a little more inspiration. Get it when you explore the complete in-store showroom displays at Hammond Lumber Company. When you find the look you like, the Hammond team will help you customize it, including accurate 3D renderings, so you can visualize your project before the work begins. Hammond offers delivery from any of the locations across Maine and New Hampshire and professional service after the sale. Your dream kitchen begins when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
When Katahdin Cruises and Moosehead Marine Museum want to know the local forecast, they log in to foxbangor.com. Take a step back in time and experience Moosehead Lake from a unique viewpoint. Book your cruise now on the Steamboat Katahdin, online or at the ticket office the day of the cruise.
At Firehouse Subs, we give you craveable subs that are piping hot and piled high. And a portion of every purchase helps give them the life-saving equipment they need. Order online or on the app for contactless pickup or delivery. Only at Firehouse Subs.
Pro football fans, it's You Pick'em NFL, the Pro Football Challenge from Fox 22. Go to foxbangor.com, click on You Pick'em, and go to You Pick'em NFL. Make your picks, and you could be the weekly winner of a gift certificate from Chase's Family Restaurant in Bangor. Brought to you by Chase's Family Restaurant in Bangor, Prouty Auto Body in Dover Foxcroft, Twin City Tile and Brewer, and Twin City Tint in Brewer. Compete all season long for the grand prize trip for 2 to Hawaii. It's You Pick'em NFL at foxbangor.com.
I'm a Republican.
I'm a Republican.
I was a Republican state senator, and I voted for Paul LePage, but I won't again.
Never again.
Tantrums, distractions,
fighting.
It's just bad behavior that costs Maine.
Janet Mills, she brings people together.
She doesn't care whose idea it is.
As long as it's good for Maine.
She balanced budgets without raising taxes.
We're Mainers.
Not complainers.
And that's why I'm voting for Janet Mills.
She fights problems, not people.
And that's our kind of governor.
It's Battle of the Ages.
These old geezers better work.
This old guy's here to play.
This is a joke. Hell's Kitchen, Battle of the Ages, Thursday on Fox.
A new Mystery Machine team, a star penning a memoir, a big game turned big screen adventure, and more. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has all of this in the Hollywood Nation.
Welcome to the White Lotus.
Guests arrive, Velma's friends assemble, and Jada has a book deal in the Hollywood Nation. Jada Pinkett Smith is penning her memoir for next fall. Day Street Books says the actor covers her complicated marriage to Will Smith, among other topics. The publisher adds it chronicles lessons learned in the course of a difficult but riveting journey. A roller coaster ride from the depths of suicidal depression to the heights of personal rediscovery and the celebration of authentic feminine power.
Dear HBO Max,
Mindy Kaling announced her Mystery Machine team at New York Comic-Con. Joining her Velma for HBO Max's upcoming Scooby-Doo Origins series are Sam Richardson as Shaggy, Constance Wu as Daphne, and Glenn Howerton as Fred. The cast also includes Jane Lynch, Wanda Sykes, and Weird Al Yankovic. In today's First Looks, a trailer for Causeway starring Jennifer Lawrence and Brian Tyree Henry. The drama follows a military engineer home from Afghanistan, recovering from a debilitating brain injury, dealing with PTSD, and facing her childhood past. It's in select theaters and Apple TV Plus November 4th.
Whenever I stay at a White Lotus.
Check back into the White Lotus, where Jennifer Coolidge's character Tanya notes she always has a memorable time. The trailer for the Sicily set Season 2 also shows Tanya married to Greg from Season 1, plus intros of new guests and glimpses at mayhem, which appears to ensue when the 10-time Emmy-winning series returns October 30th. And it's game on with the Super Mario Bros. Teaser trailer featuring voice stars including Chris Pratt and Anya Taylor-Joy. The action comedy is in theaters April 7th. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, it could have been the big gaming matchup for the ages, but Google threw in the towel early. Fox's Eamon Dignam has more in this edition of Fox on Games.
The streaming wars have claimed their first victim.
This is Stadia.
Google officially dropping their Stadia online gaming service due to, quote, a lack of traction. They say despite being built on a strong foundation, the player base just wasn't there to sustain long-term growth. There are a lot of reasons it's a surprise. Google runs YouTube and their own digital storefronts, a built-in infrastructure for modern gaming, controlling both sales and promotions. But the main reason it's not a surprise, the 274 other experiments that they've killed. They're even listed on the website killedbygoogle.com. Google also faced stiff competition from Xbox Games Pass and PlayStation, which just revamped their services into 3 tiers of PlayStation Plus, as well as less than stiff competition from Amazon with their Luna service and Netflix games, neither of which has much of a player base nor a deep library.
Google is promising refunds on hardware for the Stadia, as well as all games and add-on content. Those refunds are expected in January of next year when the Stadia officially shuts down. In New York, Eamon Dignam, Fox News.
Well, thrift shoppers who go to Goodwill for their treasure hunts can now do the same from the comfort of their home. The nonprofit organization is launching a new online version called Goodwill Finds. The organization says the online shop offers customers hundreds of thousands of unique secondhand items. They include clothing, books, home decor, collectibles, and specialty items. Goodwill says proceeds made from the online sales will be given to the regional organizations where the items came from. It's National Pizza Month, and Pizza Hut has one way for you and even babies to celebrate. The chain is out with new onesies for infants. One version of the onesie says Slice, Slice, Baby. The others say Special Delivery and Fresh Out the Oven. The onesies are available for babies up to 24 months and sell for $14 each. You can find them on carters.com/Pizza Hut. Well, football season is here, and that normally means a lot of snacking on unhealthy foods. Kristen Kirkpatrick, a registered dietitian from Cleveland Clinic, says there are ways to keep game days healthy. She recommends ensuring you're eating when you're actually hungry, and suggests avoiding mindless snacking. Kirkpatrick also says consuming lots of alcohol can impact your thought process when it comes to choosing foods. She suggests baking wings or using an air fryer to be more healthy. You may also want to keep the food in the kitchen or dining room once people have eaten to avoid temptation. I'm definitely splurging a little bit myself on football Sundays, but hey, that's just me. All right, well, that's all we have for tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in, and have a great rest of your evening.
For more local news.
Please enter your access code followed by the pound or hash.
George Stephanopoulos.
Oh my gosh.
I keep saying what was the high? I keep saying what was the cherry. I don't know what was the cherry on top. George sending me a text. That's crazy.
Don't give up, and I know you know this, but also don't take it personally.
That's cool. I wonder if I send back an emoji. This is my first time texting with George Stephanopoulos, so, you know, there's no handbook for this.
Celebrity Jeopardy is the perfect combination of brain power and star power. Let's hope they've been reading more than screenplays.
Celebrity Jeopardy, hosted by Mayim Bialik. New Sunday on ABC and
This is ABC 7 News at 11.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you.